Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about a family channel called Just the Bells 10. I'm going to call them not what Alicia Dougherty is doing. I feel like this video that we're about to react to, it talks about privacy and kind of, her kids being involved in her content. I felt like she had a couple of good points, so I do want to react to this with you guys. As a reminder, before we get into the reaction, as I've said in other recent videos, not everybody is Alicia Dougherty, and these family vloggers should be discussed on a case-by-case basis because there's some nuance with this, and it's very new. It's a new concept, and each family channel does things a little bit differently. Some of them are very toxic and others are not as toxic. And I think it's important to talk about child safety and all of these things. But the reason that I harp on each conversation being its own piece is because when you blanket statement all the family vloggers as just like the worst people on earth, then you come back and say, oh, well, this one doesn't make as much money. Oh, this one is doing XYZ. This one's donating to the community. There is some good that I've seen come out of these family channels. Not a whole lot, but once in a while it does. So we're going to get into the reaction. If you're interested, please keep watching. As I usually do, I'm going to put this at 1.5 times speed because I don't like to keep you guys here for an hour if I don't have to. So we're going to speed this up just a little bit. And this is Heather. This is the mom. And we're going to hear what she has to say about her thoughts on her 8 kids, privacy, and safety. And this video has 490 likes, 0 dislikes. And they are almost at 100,000 subscribers. So let's get started.
Our page and just how we present ourselves. I've been seeing a lot of families, bloggers, and single moms and family pages that are really getting dissected just for different things that they're posting on their social media accounts. And I had heard another large creator say, if your page, would your page survive if your children were not on the page? Would it still keep going? Would people still be interested in your page? And I got to thinking about that. Like,
she's might be referring to Dad Challenge podcast here because I've heard him say this a lot. One thing I want to touch on, and y'all know, I'm not going to do dedicated videos on him unless I really need to, but he did something really disgusting. It just happened today and I was sent it several times. He literally had his ass out on camera in the beginning of one of his Dougherty Dozen videos where he wants to poke fun at Alicia and her, we already know the gig there. Why are you showing your ass on camera? Whether or not it's blurred, it's not funny, it's not quirky, it's not something that people can laugh at unless you're, an 8-year-old and have a very immature sense of humor.
You're doing this on purpose, Alicia, but I will not be deterred. So let's go. Maybe there'll be a song. We'll write a song. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go.
hi everyone.
I may or may not have blurred that. We'll see. YouTube does it.
And this is...
Do you actually think that anyone is going to look at that page and think, I want to have a conversation with that guy? He's doing so much good to get these kids off YouTube. Fuck off. That's where I'm at with that. To finish out my thoughts on what she was saying, though, I like that she's reacting with this video instead of kind of doing how Alicia does, where she'll just ignore something or double down or say that it's a troll. I actually like that she is opening up the conversation. She has her comments open so that people can chime in with how they feel. So I really like when YouTubers do this. If it's something that you're you're asked about a lot and it has to do with something like safety, I like that she's doing a video response instead of running and hiding.
And all my kids like to be a part of it. Sometimes they don't, so I don't put them on. But if my kids weren't allowed on the page, would our page still keep going? And I would hope it would. Like, I feel like I do enough with cooking, organizing, just sharing different things that I do for my family. I would hope that people would still be interested.
And I really like how she does feasible grocery hauls. She does feasible cooking. There's not, from the videos that I have seen, and granted, I haven't had time to watch all of her videos, but from what I have seen, she is much more in touch with the fact that most foster families don't have tons of money coming in, and they need to have dinner ideas where, you know, it can feed a family of 10 and we're not spending $500 on the meal. So I really like that she is way more scaled back and a lot less wasteful than Alicia is. And that's just kind of like one of the things that I recognized after watching several of her videos. I didn't feel like it was the overconsumption and extreme food waste that we see with Alicia.
And then I got to thinking, you know, am I oversharing my kids? Like that really, I'm seeing that everywhere. I'm seeing family vlogs. I'm seeing mom and daughters, you know, dads and daughters. I'm just hearing so many things. And I gotta be honest with you, like it breaks my heart to see all this, you know, just to be aware of what's going on. And I definitely don't want to be a page that people think we exploit our children or that we invade their privacy, because, you know, I would never do that with my children, neither with my husband. You know, we adopted 7 of our children, 6 through foster care. And even with our children coming through foster care, we really were still very respectful of their boundaries. We were respectful of their story. Like, for example, like my boys and my daughter, I don't know a lot of the history that happened with them. I have never asked because I really just don't feel like that's, you know, it's not my story to tell. And I know a lot of things have happened when they were in their homes. And
it's not my story to tell. I haven't asked them. That is pure gold right there. Because so many times what we see with these foster families is the parents getting on social media and using their children's stories as a way to get more clicks, more followers, more views, which of course always turns into more money. And it shouldn't be their story to tell. And that should be kind of the gold standard for what it looks like being foster parents on YouTube. It should be, in my opinion, the standard to not share any of their story. If they want to be involved in content sometimes, that's something completely different than using their, at times, traumatic backgrounds as a part of your current day content. Because the problem is that when these kids turn 18, 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe they don't ever want to talk about it, and that is their right to do so. Maybe they don't want to talk about their birth parents. And the only thing that I have seen is using their stories only gets views for the parents. It's not doing anything but giving them a title that people are going to click on that will give them more money.
Pretty serious things, but I've never once asked them what happened when you're home, what happened when you're by yourself, you know, just because that's their history, that's their privacy. And I feel like when my kids are comfortable to talk about it, then they'll come up and tell me about it. But they might never be comfortable. It might be something they have to deal with on their own. It might be something that they want to share, but never once have I asked their story. I don't know a lot of the history. I just feel as foster parents, we're not here to completely erase their history. We're just here to add to it. We're not here to take away the birth parents, to take away the birth families. We're just here to become another extension of their family. I mean, how great is it to have...
It is like an extension of the family. And something that I've noticed for the longest time with Alicia is that she likes to exhibit her savior complex publicly all the time. She's done it with multiple children that she has, where she's talking about, oh, these birth parents were in jail. Oh, this birth parent couldn't take care of the child, so we came in and saved the child. Oh, this child was considered complicated because of fetal alcohol syndrome. And then she's drinking in the house all the time, which we've talked about. But it allows her to integrate into her content, I am better than the birth parents because I saved these kids. And even if she doesn't erase them, she still, with the words and stories that she tells herself, she knocks them down a few pegs in order to make herself look like the superior choice. And that's why the kids are living in the Dougherty home instead of with their, birth families.
A couple parents that, are healthy and strong, and 4 sets of grandparents, and have siblings all over, and so it was really important to me and my husband that when we brought our kids into our home, some of them stayed with us, some of them did not. And I'll never share those stories either of the kids who came and went, because it's not my story to tell. And as far as my kids, adopting them, we did open.
Well, and in exact foster situations, like if it's literally just a foster placement, you're not able to share their stories anyway. And she seems like someone who is very well versed on the rules, very respectful of the rules, and not only of the rules of being a foster parent, but just the rules of being a decent human being and allowing your child to have their story for when they want to share it, if they choose to share it at all.
Even though I do realize foster care adoption is considered closed, but we always chose to be open because I really felt like my kids needed family. Any family that was healthy, they needed them. They needed them to heal. They needed them to go forward. They needed them,
One thing I do wish that she would mount her camera when she's vlogging. I know that that's kind of like not what this video is about, but I don't know, maybe she'll see my video. I hope that Heather sees my video. I really do. And just to be transparent, I have talked to her briefly behind the scenes in DM. When I first started covering Dougherty Dozen, I had some really great conversations with her. They were pretty surface level, but obviously transparency is key. I hope that she sees this video. I'm not going to send it to her, but I do hope that she sees it. I'm all for car vlogs. Maybe just mount the camera. Just total side thought that it's coming out of my mouth.
For their past, so we never closed those doors. If a family member was healthy and strong, no matter who it was, if they were healthy and strong, we definitely had them a part of our family. And still now our kids get to see any family member that's healthy, any family member that they want to see. We don't push our kids into anything. It's their choice. Even my youngest, who's 15 and 16, that's their choice. I'm not going to make them go see a family member. I'm not going to make them meet a family member. That's their choice. And I respect that because, I was also adopted from my birth father, and, I was adopted. He'd be like my adoptive dad, but, I always considered him my dad. And, I found my birth father on my own, and
I really like how she is providing them a safe place and a safe space to grow and flourish. But at the same time, she's also giving them full control of their stories and what they want to do and who they want to talk to and who they want to keep in contact with. Instead of things being so orchestrated, which I'm going to compare this to Dougherty Dozen only because that's the only other large family that I've covered in depth. With her, I feel like it's my kid's choice. With Alicia, it's like, it's my choice, and how can I use this for content, and how will it fit into our presence on social media? She almost didn't take those 2 bonus kids. We heard her say it herself, because it was going to mess with them being social media influencers. She literally said that. I'll try to include the clip. If not, I'll include a video that shows the clip down below, but it's that complete opposite. It's like, kids know who they want to be around and who they don't want to be around, and allowing them to have that choice and that option, I think is amazing, instead of thinking about, is this going to serve our platform and the money that we're making?
And I sought him out, and I was very open and honest with my mom and dad, and I said, hey, I want to search him out, because I just felt like there was a hole, because I really didn't get to know him. And I know the situation was a little different, but I never really got to know him. And so I always grew up wondering, like, the circumstances, like why isn't he in my life? Why doesn't he not contact me? Why, can't we talk about him? Those were things that I grew up with that just left this hole. And I didn't want that for my children. I really wanted to be a part of their family, but not take away from their family, and, I didn't want to shut any doors, and I really do feel like that has really helped our children to heal, to understand, to get to know things. And also for adoption, like a couple of the children we adopted when they were younger, but it was always a talking, like we would always talk about it. So I didn't want my kids to like be 10 and be like, oh, I'm adopted. Like I wanted it to be a part of our life. So we would talk about, their birth parents and their birth families and being adopted and what it meant. And even when they were little, before they even understood it.
She's definitely someone who also exhibits self-awareness. I love when YouTubers exhibit self-awareness. It is key to have a fair amount of self-awareness if you're going to put your stuff out onto YouTube. If you come on YouTube and you have so little self-awareness and this big ego because your channel is growing and you're getting new people that are interested, it will quickly fizzle out because there will be a time and a place. I've had a couple during my time on YouTube where I had to actually say, you know, maybe I got this wrong. Maybe I approached this from the wrong angle. It's vital to have some level of self-awareness. Are people going to just hate you and not like you? Absolutely. But there are also those people who just, you know, echo the same concern, and that's worth at least taking some time to reflect on and maybe, you know, have a conversation about it. Instead of doubling down or ignoring it, which is what we see so often with Alicia and a lot of other YouTubers as well.
A little bit of things, and some things we've shared I wish I hadn't. I apologize, and I wish I hadn't, especially with Josh. I feel like I've shared a little too much with Josh, and I really wasn't aware of that until I started watching these other creators talk about child privacy and safety, child safety and security, especially in social media. Things are just going so crazy. And so I have really been careful about things that I have shared. Maybe our page hasn't grown as fast because of it, and that's okay. That's okay.
It's like what she just said, how she admitted that she overshared a little bit too much with one of her kids, but then she recognized it once she was taking in, you know, other people's content, what other people were saying. She is not here to chase that number. She's not here to beg for subscribers. She realizes, okay, if I did overshare constantly and force the kids to do these TikTok trends and YouTube videos, she would have probably grown faster. Like I said, they're approaching 100,000 subscribers, which is really exciting. But they took the slow and steady road to get there while protecting the most intimate parts of their kids' stories. And that alone deserves respect.
Because I want to make sure my family's safe and my kids are comfortable. And honestly, to be honest with you, because I haven't pushed my children into being on our platform or made them be in a video or made them do this or made them do this, they actually ask me now, hey, can I be in a video? Hey, Mom, can I do this collab with you? Do you got anything coming up? Like, they're coming to me, and they're coming to me with ideas. Mom, look at this. We got to do this. Mom, look at this. We got to do this. And I think it's because I didn't pressure my children into doing stuff. And honestly, you know, there's some collabs we get that are not, you know, real expensive. And I ask my kids, do you want this? Because I don't need this, you know, and I know they're trying to get ahead and they're trying to establish a new life and they need money. And I'm okay. We don't need the money. You know, we're set. And everything we get, we invest in our children. We invest in our bills. You know, we can't live off social media. We're just not, I guess I'm not blessed enough to have so much money coming in that I can just live off being a TikToker. I just can't. We have a family farm and we have a masonry company and we like working. We don't want to quit our work. We like working. And what if the social media comes to a crashing halt? Then what? Then what? You know, and so, you know, my kids are now part of the business. You know, I'm asking them, hey, these are things coming up. Does anybody want it? They're like, yeah, you know, and I help them video it and edit it. But I you know, the reason I bring all this up is because I just, like I said, I've been seeing so many things. And it's just disheartening to me and makes me sad. It makes me want to cry. It makes me angry. And I just want to make sure that our family is not like that. And that our testimony on social media platforms is not one of greediness and dishonesty and exploitive and, you know, parents that overstep their boundaries. I just don't want to be one of those families. And I have to be honest with you, I understand why some families are doing this, and, you know, moms and daughters and dads and daughters, because when we first got on this platform, it's so easy to share every part of your life. Why? Because you want the views, you want the followers. It's so easy to over grocery shop. It's so easy to house tour, because why? You want to give the people what they want, and you want the views and you want the follows, and then with higher followers, it means more collabs and more money per view, and which we don't actually make money off TikTok per view at all. I don't know how anybody makes money off TikTok if you don't have a campaign. But I was getting sucked into that. I'll be honest with you, I was getting sucked into it. I was over grocery shopping and overdoing this, and my husband's like, you have to stop. Like, we can't eat this much. And why are you going to...
Like I said, I haven't had the time to really do a deeper dive into the type of stuff that they're putting out. But I did feel like that video really encapsulated kind of this nuanced area of, if you're going to share your life, be self-aware to when you do overshare. I think that if you're able to exhibit your self-awareness when you do step the line or go out of bounds, or, you know, maybe you were approaching your content from this direction and you realize that it wasn't who you are as a person, but you can actually make the changes and switch it up to do better. That's amazing. And I don't see, like I said, the unreal amount of food waste and just the, you know, spending $30,000 on Christmas gifts and all of this crazy nonsense that we see with the Doughertys, there has not been one time where I've heard Alicia talk about her kids telling their own stories. I don't hear her talking about, well, maybe my kids don't want their stories out there. It's constantly, how is this kid's story or this piece of this kid's story going to fit the content that I'm making so that my views go up, so that the money goes up? So like I said, do you guys know about Just the Bells? Do you know, does Heather look familiar to you? Have you seen her over on TikTok maybe? Tell me how you feel about this. And, you know, I want to make it really clear too. I'm not ever going to fully co-sign kids being on YouTube. Like, you know, that's not what I'm here for, but I'm also trying to be in a little bit more of a neutral space when the opportunity presents itself. And I don't think that we get the opportunity very often because there are so many family vloggers that are a really bad example. So when an example like this comes along, I want to recognize it and I want to talk to you guys about it. I'm not here to make fun of her. I'm not here to snark on anything. I think that it's an important conversation to keep going, but the messenger has to also be fair when the time is right. So either way, those are going to be my thoughts for now. If you like the video, please have a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.